It's Bill, and I got asked an interesting question, which was, do you ever find one guitar sounds better with an amp than another guitar? And it is so true. I mean, every guitar has its own unique sound, and certain ones just sounds better with certain amps. So I've got, this is 2015 Les Paul, and I've got this plugged into the train wreck. And so you can just hear what this sounds like. This guitar in a long time, but this guitar sounds amazing through that amp. So that gives you an idea. So that's a Les Paul. Let's throw up another guitar so you can get a feel for how the sound might be different. This is a Paul Reed Smith hollow body 2, and you're going to get a much different sound. Sorry, I should have tuned all these before doing this video. Interesting story about Paul Reed Smith. Paul Reed Smith's been building guitars for, I want to say 40 years, based out of Maryland. He also owns another company that is a tech development company where he and, I guess maybe it started with his father, they started experimenting with harmonic audio and finding ways to leverage technology to be able to differentiate subjects in pictures and make kind of bad pictures look really good. So think about it. If you have a satellite imagery of something and you want it to be really clear, you can use Paul Smith's technology to make it better. It's of interest to me because with Tricar and what we're doing with medicine, it now starts to make me think, could we potentially use his technology in medicine, tied in with artificial intelligence, to identify imagery of cells, etc., veins, anything in the body, to be able to take a picture and enhance it in such a manner that you can really see the minute details. It's really fascinating. Anyways. Got off track. Okay, so here is a Paul Reed Smith hollow body 2, same amp. Oh, it's going to feed back like crazy because it's hollow. I've also got this one tuned up half a note higher. idea what that sounds like, just for grins, maybe I don't have to tune them up. Nope. Just for grins, this is a Paul Reed Smith. This is a 20th anniversary. So about half of Paul Reed Smith's business life ago, this guitar was made. So let's see what this sounds like. So there's that. So let's grab a Tele so we can hear what it sounds like through a Tele and a Strat as well. Well, here's a Strat. We can just grab this one. Now the Strat usually needs to be tuned up. So, but we'll try it. Let's just see what it sounds like. Close enough. So, I don't really love the Strat with that amp, but gives you an idea of a different sound. Let's see if we can grab a Telecaster. Yeah, this one's going to need tuned up. So let me get this guy tuned up. So here we got a little older Telecaster. Telecaster was made by Fender, of course, if you don't know. Okay, so this is going to sound much different probably. Wow, this is going to feed back to the Tele, and you can definitely hear the difference. The first Les Paul is so thick and full. The PRS, because it's a hollow body, is going to be a little bit tinier, but a little brighter. The Strat's very bright. In fact, I really don't like the Strat with this amplifier. I love the Strat with Fender amps, with Schwartz amps, and some other ones, Magnetones. The Tele sounds good, but Tele actually sounds better in some other amplifiers as well. So I want to try 2 more guitars in this just to see how different they do sound through this amp, and hopefully it'll be worth listening to as well. Maybe 3 more guitars. We'll see. So let's pull out here's something you don't see every day. I have not picked this one up in months. And it is a beautiful guitar. It's an Ibanez. I'm not even going to tune it because normally it doesn't need tunes. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't need tunes. So this Ibanez has got some of the best pickups I've ever heard in a guitar. And I'm not sure what makes them so great, but this will give you a different flavor for this amp. Got a lot more brightness than a Les Paul, and it sounds pretty good. But this amp I actually love more, or I'm sorry, this guitar I actually love it more through a Marshall amp and through a Black Star than I do through a Trainwreck. So nice, but not my pick for that amp. All right. Just for giggles, I'm going to grab this is a Paul Reed Smith single cut, and this is probably my favorite Paul Reed Smith. And I'm not going to tune it because it never needs tuned really. So let's see what it's doing. So what you heard there is with the solid body Paul Reed Smith, it's approaching more of that Les Paul thickness and fullness, but it has this amazing ability to cut through on the high notes that the Les Paul sort of doesn't have. So pretty cool, huh? This guitar and that amp are just killer. So I want to try a couple others. Let's just see what they sound like. This is Okay, this is a 1959 Gibson Les Paul, and it's probably going to sound the fullest of everything that we played, because it just has the mojo, right? It really needs tune, though. I've had these strings on here for like 3 years. I'm horrible about changing strings. It's boring. It takes too much time. I always prick my fingers. Okay. By the way, it is a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. Was thinking about going up to the mountains because there's still snow up there, but got sidetracked. Yeah, I really need to change the strings on this baby. All right, let's try this again. So here we go, 1959 Gibson Les Paul. Yeah, they don't get much better than that. You know, when I got this guitar, I took off all the plastic to preserve it. And I never really found a great plastics manufacturer to replace the originals with, which are in the safe. But now Creamtone is out there, and my friend Vic Dupre, who's probably the foremost expert on the Les Paul in the world, swears by these guys, Creamtone. So I'm going to order a set of Creamtone for this, and I'll probably put the original back plates back on, which are kind of brownish, not black. Anyways, so you got to hear what that sounds like. Well, we can't go by without ending it on Stranglehold, the best riff ever written. Uncle Ted, you and Derek made some amazing music back in the day. Anything else we should try? I have an idea. What happens if you put an inexpensive guitar with an expensive amplifier? Let's try that one. Ta-da! So, what would be the least expensive guitar in here is... La 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 la. Okay, I have an idea here. How about I have no idea what this is going to sound like. Oh my God. This is crazy. This thing's in tune. All right, so here we go. This might sound like a train wreck. This is an old Victoria guitar. Look at this thing. This thing was most likely made in Japan. I have no idea when. I'm going to guess 60s, 70s. The neck on it is like a baseball bat. The body's thin, like probably thinner than a Stratocaster. So we will see what a $90 used guitar sounds like. I was afraid of that. It's gonna feedback like crazy. It's got sort of these like Tom Jonesy type, old Gretschy type pickups, and Yeah, it's going to need a little tuning. So bear with me. What else can we talk about here on this Saturday in April? Amazing things happening with our drug development at TriCar, especially as it relates to ALS. Some tremendous advances being made. And then, what else? The weather's beautiful. Oh, this key's a little loose. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go slowly with this because these pickups are going to feedback like it's crazy. But the great thing about a guitar like a Trainwreck is that you can turn your volume down and still get a really great sound. It cleans up beautifully. And a lot of good amps do that, especially tube amps. So anyways, let's see what this sounds like. Apologize for the squealing. It is going to squeal. Here we go. Back and forth. I mean, these things were made in mass quantities. They were sent out all over the world. The whole purpose was just to sell a lot of guitars. I've got a broken pick guard. Need to get that done. But so even a cheap guitar can sound good through a good amp. But at the same time, you really wouldn't be able to play this through an amp like that. It just has too much feedback, and goodness knows, I have no idea when this thing was made. Let's end this on another inexpensive guitar. I've got an idea. Man, that thing that made so much noise. Ouch. So, this is a guitar that I believe you can still go out and buy today. You can certainly find them online. This is an Epiphone. Epiphone is made by Gibson. They're mostly made in Indonesia and China. Some were made in Korea, as I recall. And the Epiphone is really a great guitar for learning on, because today they're so well made. You just never know what you're going to get with them, though. So it's one of those guitars you really want to buy in store, where you can try it, listen to it, try it through a couple different amps. This particular Epiphone is one that we've had for sale for some time, and it's a nice guitar. I haven't played it a whole lot, but it is the Slash model. So you all know Slash, otherwise known as Saul Hudson with Guns N' Roses, and Slash's Snake Pit. This is the Slash model Epiphone, and what you have here are the I think it's the Alnico 2 pickups that Slash prefers. It's got a thicker neck, like his Chris Durig Les Paul or his other Gibson Les Pauls. So let's see what a Slash Epiphone, and these are about $800, sounds like. sounding as a Les Paul, a little bit muddier, which may just be an effect of these pickups, but clearly sounds good in this. This particular amp, this particular guitar, I love the way it sounds through a Marshall amp, Black Star amps, it's a pretty versatile instrument. So for like $800, it's a great instrument, especially if you're a new player. You want something that's made well, has good quality. I don't recall where this one was made. If you forgive me, because I'm over the age 30 now, I need my this is made in China. They're made there, they come in, they're inspected, they're set up here in the US. I have not seen any of the more recent Epiphones have major issues. They're really well made guitars now, so this is a great option for people who are looking for something kind of nice that they can. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. They're really nice. Forget it. I don't know what I was talking about. If you're a new player, go check out the Epiphones. If you can't afford a Les Paul, check out the Epiphones. The other thing I would tell you to check out is the PRS SE line, Paul Reed Smith's SE line. They used to be made in Korea. I don't know if they still are or not. Maybe they shipped it to Indonesia or someplace else. But some of them are just fantastic sounding. They all are really well made. The other one that I would recommend is a recent guitar that we picked up called a Hamer. And this features P90 pickups. We haven't played anything with P90 pickups. Oh, we could. I don't have the Hamer here, but the Hamer sells for about $550. You can find them on reverb.com. And it's a double cut and a wonderful sounding guitar with P90 pickups. And hard to go wrong with one of those. The P90s through the train wreck are good sounding, but they get a little muddy. And as an example, here is a 1959 Gibson Les Paul Jr. with a P90 pickup. This guitar used to be cherry red. It's now brown. That's how much the aniline dye has faded out over the years. There's not many places on it excuse me, that are exposed and still have that red. But if I take this off, bright red underneath. So I don't think this needs tuned up. Close enough. So this is another 59 Les Paul. This is the Junior, and this is with a P90, which is a noisier pickup than a humbucker. So let's hear this. Noisy, right? But that's the nature of the P90 pickup more than the amp. So there's so many things that go together to get the tone you like, and it is so amazing how one guitar can sound so different through an amp compared to another guitar. And I'm about to drop this guitar, and you really have to figure out what you want to play, what kind of music you want to play, how it fits with that amp, how it fits with that guitar. If you need to add a pedal to it, like I have a pedal board I never use, but you know, it's so important that you think long and hard about the sound you're going for and what makes you happy in terms of the sound of an instrument. So I love this guitar. I love this guitar through Fender amps. I love this guitar through Marshall amps, through my Schwartz. I'm not a huge fan of it through the Trainwreck because it just gets a little muddy. The highs are real clear, but the rest of it gets a little bit muddy. And then, what else? I think that's about it for today. know what we could try? One last one, just because I'm so proud of these guitars. So, a couple years ago, we started getting requests from people to take their PRS guitars and modify them. And usually it was a matter of just changing around the electronics, the wiring, and the pickups. And what we did is we came up with this line, we called it Golden Era Conversions. And what we try to do is we take a PRS. In this case, this was a Santana SE. Santana SE was usually a bright yellow guitar. We took out all the electronics, everything inside the guitar. We replace it. We completely redo the necks. The necks are typically varnished. We strip them down. We reshape them just a little bit, and then we finish them in a nice oil varnish. And I have never played this guitar through this amp, so I'm kind of excited. Same thing. This is going to be loud. These are loud pickups. They're made by Iron Gear. Guitar, we put in the tone switch, so when you take it just past 10, it shuts off all the circuitry, so it goes real quiet. So you don't have to take your volume all the way up and down every time you want to get music. You can just... sounds good with this amp. I like it. So anyways, that is our video for the day of how different guitars sound differently through different amps. So good luck in your quest for your tone. And this is for sale, by the way, if anybody's interested. We've had it listed for $1,200. I would sell it, if anybody's interested, I'll sell it for $1,000. Including shipping anywhere in the continental U.S., because this needs to be played by somebody, and I just never really get a chance to sit down and play it. And I love the work our guys do on the necks and everything. They make it so much infinitely more playable than the stock. But of course, you know, it's designed for somebody who maybe can't afford the core PRS. Maybe the SE is a little bit too low for them. The core is too much. Right in the middle. You can have all these things done. The guys will also do this for your PRS if you send it to us. Yeah, anyways, on and on and on. Music, such a good thing to have in your life. And even if you don't have any talent like me, you can at least get in the room and make a little noise and enjoy these instruments and have a lot of fun with them. Yeah, that's about it. A few more weeks, we'll come back and we're gonna have this one done. So once this one's done, we'll try it too. But I'm debating whether to change the look of this one a little bit, because there's not much flame on here, and I'm thinking maybe I might do some kind of crazy graphics on this one. And we'll see what that sounds like through the same amp. Anyways, bye.